here. Welcome every single Monday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Me and Mr. Alec Aponte of Paramount Insurance Brokers going live, talking about insurance, talking about sales, talking about life, how to blow up your life, how to get to that next level. Today, man, what are we talking about today, Alec?
Multiple streams of income.
It's a good topic. It's a really good topic because many people, I've seen it myself. I've actually, thankfully, I've gotten the right information from the get-go, right? I got into insurance. I'm like, man, how do I blow this insurance thing up? How do I maximize this flow of insurance instead of trying to get all these different flows, right? And, GC talks about it a lot. He talks about the fact of you never want to abandon the first flow, right? And this is exactly why we're talking about this, because there's so many other flows within insurance of how to create additional revenue and additional income. There's so many, symbiotic products to the main product that you're offering your client that you can offer your client that's going to multiply that client, right? It's like, for example, we're in the Medicare space, right? So the Medicare is the main product for us. I mean, here at LC Financial Group, I think it is for you as well. You can confirm or not, but Medicare is the main product. You sell them the Medicare. That's that entry product. It's like all the gurus out there. It's like all the mentors, right? It's like GC. He gives away free stuff to get people in the gates, right? So Medicare is the gateway for our clients to become our client, the customer to become our client. And then we just continue to nurture that client. We just continue to follow up. We continue to build the relationship. Next thing we know, we're selling a hospital indemnity plan, right? With Heartland National or maybe Aetna or maybe a GTL, right? We sell them the hospital indemnity. Then we sell them the final expense. Then maybe it's annuities. Maybe it's those bigger financial products, financial investment products, right? So there's so many different flows to the main flow. And the last thing that you want to do as an insurance agent is to try to start doing all these other things that is going to disrupt your main flow. That's going to take your energy and effort away from that main flow of creating income and creating revenue. So for me, it was like, man, I got that first 100K. I'm just telling a quick little story here. I got that first $100,000 that I stored away within about a year of being in insurance. And instead of being like, oh, I'm going to go invest in real estate myself, or, oh, I'm going to do this with the 100,000. I basically just went ahead and just put that 100,000 into Cardone Capital so I can keep my main energy and effort and attention on insurance, more customers, right? So that's what we're talking about today is keeping the main thing. And what are some other different streams within insurance? And that's what I think of, what's that main product that is going to get the client in the door, that's going to get the client within your ecosystem, within that sphere of what you're offering. What's that main product? For us, it's Medicare. And then, dude, all you got to do is just nurture that client, build a relationship, stay in constant communication with them. Boom, hospital indemnity. Boom, final expense. Boom, annuity, right? Oh, boom, ACA to maybe younger individuals that they have, maybe their kids, their grandkids, right? And then continue to extract referrals. So that's what we're talking about today, man. Good to see you today, man. It was Alex's birthday this past weekend. Happy belated.
I'm trying to get the voice back. Man, the worst mistake you can make is get into insurance, get a license, and then underestimate the streams of income. So many agents that I see, they start an insurance and they wildly underestimate how much they can scale their income and how many streams of income there is. I see some agents start different businesses before they even really got off the ground. They have their hand in this, have their hand in that. They're concerned about the compensation. They don't think it's enough. When reality is, all they have to do is ask questions and help clients with different solutions, present different products. So, I mean, it's crazy to think in insurance alone, for first year Medicare commissions, renewals, hospital indemnity, life insurance, that's all streams of income. Building a team, right? I mean, I'm coming up short here, but it doesn't end there. It's about 5 or 6, and that's in one industry, and that's the best thing you could do because it's all symbiotic. Your energy's not spread in this industry doing that, running it over. It's all in one area, and that's where you'll actually see the most results and see your income grow the most.
Exactly. Yeah, man, it's quite relevant within the industry. People get into it. Like, this is a common scenario. People get into insurance. They don't go 100% all in. They're like, oh, I'm not making enough money. Oh, let's branch off and do something else. Man, like, you haven't even committed 100% and devoted yourself 100% to what you came and what your full intention was in the first place. Like, you haven't even done it. You haven't even tried it, right? It's like, dude, if you give insurance just a 12-month chance, like, you're going to create
full time.
Right. Yeah. Full time, 9 to 5. I tell people that all the time. I'm sure you do it the same with your team. It's like, dude, if you just view insurance and work it like a normal 9 to 5 job, you're going to create income. You're going to create revenue. It might not be as much because if it's Medicare, like, hey, like, commissions go down every single month. It might not be as much during the first year, second year, but it's like once you're past that first or second year hump, dude, like, you're making income. You're making money. Now you got a book of business. Now you can reactivate that book of business, sell them hospital indemnity if you didn't do it on the first time around. You can offer them final expense. You can extract referrals. You can start venturing into like annuities, right? And there's so many streams of income where, man, so many people, like, sometimes people get their head too wrapped, like they get too consumed with like, oh, I'm not making enough money, right? But it's like, dude, just keep your head in the game, continue to move forward, and just see like the possible revenue streams that insurance can give you. Right? You named off like 5 of them. I forgot about team building. And that's one of the biggest ones. Shoot.
I think I missed some too.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
And I was adding different products, but yeah, I mean, you could even throw the ACA in there. You can throw, cancer insurance in there, which is different than hospital indemnity. And that's what I feel like. If you're doing insurance at a high level and you establish maybe, I know how to sell Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement a little bit. I know how to sell the core health insurance product. All you have to do is, if you don't have a life license, get a life license. Mm-hmm. If you're not asking about hospital indemnity, ask about hospital indemnity. That's how you add another easily 20 grand, a year to your income, maybe 40, 50 if you're, doing it at a high level, potentially more than that if you have a big book of business that you can cross sell that maybe you haven't sold. But it's crazy to think because someone recently we were talking to them and they were talking about how the compensation was this and that, and oh, it's not enough, but it's like the core compensation may not be enough for you, but hey, look, if you just add this, this, and this, you're making $800 a sale as opposed to maybe, 300. You just gotta, talk about those additional products. And if you're making 800 a sale versus, 300, obviously, that's a very big difference.
It's a whole nother ball game right there. People are so short-minded and they have such a short viewpoint. Like, get your viewpoint on the right thing. Like, how much, like, and that's the exact viewpoint that you got to have. And I've mentioned that a lot to partners within LC Financial Group is like, this client is not just one client. This client is multiple products, 3-4 different products. Plus this client, it could be 10 different referrals, right? And it's a concept of like one person alone knows 10 other people. And those 10 other people know 10 people each. So that one client could literally turn into 100 clients, 100 potential clients. Those 100 potential clients, 3 to 4 products each for those clients, that's already 300 to 400 products sold that create revenue, create income. So it's like, you got to think expansive and like what is within the ecosystem, right? The ecosystem is Medicare, final expense, annuities, hospital indemnity, like you said, cancer, dental, vision, hearing, right? And building a team, ACA, like there's so much. But then again, it also goes to the point of like, you don't want to, me personally, you don't want to get too overwhelmed of like, man, I got to learn everything.
That's
Like just first start with that main product, right? Whether it's for me, it was Final Expense. For you, it was Final Expense as well. Start with that main product, become all knowing about that main product, and then start to slowly divert to other products, right? Because man, that's the last thing that you want to do. I mean, what I would advise as a leader of other people is like, you don't want to like try to learn all these products at the same time. Master one product. Okay, great. I got that mastered. Check it off. Okay, what's the next product? Okay, what's the next product?
I don't want to give, the misconception that you should walk in the door and, start selling 8 different products like that. That's not something you should do either. Definitely start with one. Once you realize, you're pretty much approaching expert, very proficient, then you just start adding it on there. And then you do it all in your sleep, And then you have clients where, you get the husband and wife, you get the MA, your hostile indemnity, and then you sell them both life insurance. And as insurance agents, we know that's we know how like that's a good case size. When you rate 6 apps off, maybe 1 lead card.
Yep.
That's how you.
And maybe you're an agent that's paying for leads, or maybe you're an agent that's getting free leads. Like if you're paying for the lead, okay, how much does the lead cost? And what's the cost to acquire that customer? Like, man, even if you're at like $200, $250 to acquire that customer, you're still coming out profitable. The MAPD or Medicare supplement with the health insurance, like that first year commission, it's going to pretty much equal up to that. But then as long as you continue to keep them your client for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, like you're already profitable with one product. Now, like we're talking about extra profitability on these 3, 4 different products, right? So if you're paying for leads, you got to look at, okay, how much did that lead cost? What's the cost to acquire that customer? Okay, great. Now I'm up to just like paying for the cost to acquire the customer. Now, how do I profit from there on? Now, if you're a leader, like here at LC Financial Group, how we provide leads to all of our agents for free, it's like, okay, we're paying for all these leads, or whether they're transfers or inbounds, great. What's the cost to acquire that customer, and how do we maximize on top of that, right? Setting up different departments within our organization. That's kind of what we're evolving into right now. It's like having these different departments where, okay, the Medicare agent gets that Medicare sale, and then we have different departments that are like pretty much like customer service, right? They're tapping. It's like you're buying a car, right? You go through steps and processes of buying a car, or you're buying a house. There's different steps and processes, or you're going on a cruise and there's different steps and processes to purchasing the cruise and different packages, right? So like a Medicare client, there's different packages that they could purchase or they could attain from being a Medicare beneficiary. You could, the other package is hospital indemnity. Betty, did you know that we have another add-on package, and that's Final Expense, right? That's ACA, whatever it might be, right? So it's like you got to look at the lifetime value of the client. And that's how you can make sense of paying $30-$40 for a lead, or $30-$40 for a transfer, maybe $150 per customer on a CPA for each customer. Like that's how you kind of conceptualize it, because so many people are thinking way too short term. Like if you should believe in yourself so much that that this client that you're obtaining and this client that you're acquiring, like they're going to be with you for 5 years. Like that's the mind frame that you should have. And not only they're going to be with you for 5 years for one product, but you have all these different products in your arsenal, in your inventory that you can offer them. That's going to make it's just going to make it so much more profitable than it could be. Like you don't have to worry about spending $200 to acquire a customer, because you're committed to maximizing that one customer. Mm-hmm. Right? It's like so many people are just so short-minded, and they just want that immediate gratification. Like just take the haircut maybe for the first couple of years. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, year 3, like boom, like everything blows up.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to think that once you're independent, it's all about self-discipline and stuff. But man, if you could give 1 year full time, like there's just no way your life's the same the next year. You're gonna have some kind of substantial, some kind of path, reoccurring income. And look, even if it's 20, 30 grand, it's reoccurring income.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a not active income, that's going to change your life. So newer agents don't, you can't underestimate the opportunity. You can't, I get it being brand new and focusing on one product, that's totally fine. But as soon as you get the hang of it, you're able to control a call, take it from, intro to close, confident, and you got the hang of it. You need to start adding products. Because I don't know about you, Ryan, but if I sell someone Medicare Advantage and they have a $6,000 out of pocket and $400 hospital stays, I think you're kind of a bad person if you don't at least say, hey, you don't have to pay this. This is an alternative. So you got to start really thinking like an insurance agent advisor, and it's absolutely a service. You're not even really selling them. It's another service that really most people they'll jump at, products like hospital indemnity. It makes sense for them.
Yeah. Man, like, dude, all you got to do is ask. You just got to ask. If you're at least just asking for the sale, whether it's hospital indemnity, final expense, asking for a referral, dude, you at least shoot the shot. It's like, man, it's like you see a girl, like you're not married, you don't have a girlfriend, you see a girl, like they just shoot the shot. Like you got nothing to lose. You got nothing to lose, right? It's like, so why not just offer the product? Offer it, and that's where it really all starts with I've seen it with a lot of newer agents within our group is like, they just start offering it. Like they might not know how to pitch it correctly, but you'll continue to like fine tune it as the time goes by. Right. But man, there's so many streams of income. And then once you really maximize the stream of income of insurance, then you can kind of like look at other flows, right? Your main flow is really like hitting at a high level. Then you could look at, okay, maybe I want to start investing in real estate. Maybe I want to start investing into crypto or whatever it might be, right? Then you kind of like diversify your portfolio to a degree, right? You want all your eggs in one basket at first. You want to put all your efforts, all your energy, all your commitment into that one basket. And right now, if you're in the insurance industry, it's insurance. Don't even think about anything else. Don't think about investing into anything else besides insurance and besides maximizing that flow with insurance.
And that's the point I would want to get across is if you're in insurance, like if you just started, stop looking outside of insurance for additional flows of income. It just, you're squandering the opportunity. You're not squeezing the orange, so to say. You're leaving so much money on the table. You're not getting as good as you can get. You're not spending as much time on the phones because you're doing that other thing. Your energy's, divided, dispersing here, going there. Now that you're doing this side gig, don't take for granted, as a personal producer, how much money you can generate for yourself, for your family, just selling 2 or 3 products, and then when those 2 or 3 products, you're going to actually have more than 3 streams of income, right? Because insurance is a renewal-based product. So if I'm selling 2 renewal-based products, that's another 2 streams of recurring income. So, man, insurance is a blessing. It really is. And as long as you're, aware of that, master your craft, and ask about additional products, you're going to add a lot of additional income. Just go to work, treat it like a job, because these people they want to cover hospitals. They just don't even know that you can.
Yep. They're unaware. Like they don't know what they don't know. And it's our job as insurance agents and brokers to really educate the clients on what's available to them. Now, let me ask you this, Alec. What's your main product offering within Paramount Insurance Brokers? Is it Medicare, right?
Medicare Advantage. I mean,
good.
We'll do either or, but obviously, it leans towards Medicare Advantage. And we're in Florida, so supplements don't make as much sense, I think, as they do like in other areas.
So what would the flow look like if you had to line up like second sales, third sales, fourth sales? So it's Medicare's first. What would be second? What would be third? What would you say would be the perfect kind of flow or transition of selling the client multiple products?
Yeah, Medicare Advantage. If it's a really good phone call, you can pitch the Medicare Advantage or the cancer, because obviously Medicare Advantage doesn't cover 20% chemotherapy drugs for cancer. So on the phone, that's where you can pivot immediately, read it in the scope, obviously. If you don't get it on that call, then we'll call back. We'll have like an account manager call back, talk about hospital, like educate our client. And then once we cover those gaps, then we go into, more of the final expense life insurance.
Nice. So it's kind of like Medicare, cancer on the same call potentially, more than likely. If not, then that would be kind of like the second. The third would be hospital indemnity.
Yeah, it's the conversations very much, hey, Betty, now that we've taken care of, what your plan doesn't cover, and now you have, more, comprehensive coverage. Now that we took care of that, I want to have a conversation with you about away from the health insurance. What do you have in place to cover final expenses? I want to make sure you have something, Betty.
Here's a misconception that a lot of people get. A lot of people don't want to offer the second product on the same call of the first product.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts about that? Do you think you'll be able to lose the sale?
No, that's very like amateur. That's not.
It's an arbitrary factor. Yeah.
It's not. No. I mean, haven't you sold hospital indemnity multiple times on?
Absolutely. Always asking. Like, wrap up that first sale for the Medicare Advantage and then smoothly transition. Like when you're explaining the summary of benefits, what I've seen a lot of top hospital indemnity plan producers do when you're explaining that at the end of the summary benefits, like the inpatient hospital care, like, okay, there's actually a way to cover that. After we're done with this, we'll actually jump right into that so we can see how to actually cover that. Would that be of interest to you? Oh, of course. Like, hey, who wouldn't say yes, right?
That's a great way to do it.
So easy.
That's a great way to do it. Yeah, no, it's just it's a real quick. If you're thinking like that, Ryan, they're thinking about just selling someone. I never feel good if I just call someone like I'm going to sell you. Like, you just got to think you're providing a service, covering the gaps in their plan, so you can save Betty from a $2,000-3,000 hospital bill. So if you have that viewpoint, you're gonna talk about hospital indemnity on the same phone call. The only time is if maybe we're doing a lot of fact finding through the MA. We got a bunch of doctors and we're just like been on the phone for an hour and some change. Then maybe we'll save it for another day. But because it's just it becomes a whole thing. But that's the only instance we wouldn't really ask.
Yep. And the last thing that you want to think is like, oh, if I don't sell it right on that first initial call, I won't ever be able to sell them again. Like, hey, you can always reactivate your clients. You can always call them back a week later, 2 weeks later. Like,
and sometimes they're more receptive after they signed up for the insurance and they got it. And sometimes they'll have, questions about copays. A guy calls me about his copays. He thinks that they're, too high. Okay. Or he wants to cancel his insurance. Okay, no problem. So what we really need to do is you need a hospital indemnity plan.
mm-hmm.
So, and that's after the fact, right? After the fact. So you probably, have a lot of luck circling back and doing some follow-up on existing clients for sure. Even if you ask, right? Even if you already asked them.
Yeah. Just because you ask them once doesn't mean they'll not buy the second time or third time you ask them. Just continue to persist. Mm-hmm. Continue to follow up. I mean, I'll leave it off on this and you could leave off some good key points, but like the more products that you have with your client, they're not going to leave. Like that client is yours for life.
It's so funny because all those benefits, like that's all great, the extra money, but like that's what really matters. If you call my clients who have life hospital, they're not going to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Versus the clients who just bought an MA will change next week.
Yep.
So retention goes, way up just from putting policies in the home.
Through the roof.
Yep.
100%.
Oh yeah, and final expense is stickier after you sell it. After you sell the MA, my final expense retention easily goes up 10. It's probably after selling an MA, it's probably around 85%. Easily. It's stickier business. Find something in their budget that they can keep, and it'll stick.
Boom. Let's roll. Let's have a great week, everyone. Appreciate everyone tuning in every single Monday, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Me and Alec Aponte of Paramount Insurance Brokers coming to you, dropping some gems, sharing some information and data to help you blow up your career in insurance, or maybe you're in sales in general. Still applies to you. So you guys have a great day. Hope you guys found some value out of this. We'll see you guys next week.